fascinating situation with the team that everyone is really fascinated by. The Indiana Hoosiers are the darlings of college football. We watched them last week just dismantle Nebraska. They are undefeated. They're 7-0. Playing against Washington this week. It's the college game day game. But one of the guys who has helped Indiana get to this point is not going to be playing, and that is starting quarterback Kurtis Rourke. He will be replaced by Tayven Jackson, who came into the game against Nebraska last week, Ari. And I got to be honest, I don't feel like there was a whole lot of difference in the offense in terms of effectiveness between Kurtis Rourke and Tayven Jackson. That's a big compliment to Tayven Jackson.
Yeah, if Jackson comes into this game and just lights it up, like then we're going to have a quarterback controversy in Indiana. I don't know if we can handle like any more storylines coming out of Bloomington this year. But like I do think that the general expectation, although we are kind of guessing, is that Indiana's offense will not skip a beat, right? Like, is that kind of how people are feeling about this game? I think that Indiana is a pretty considerable favorite in this type of game, and you would think that they would be playing an opponent in Washington that could push them. So,
we did just watch Washington give up 40 to Iowa, so it's not.
Listen, this is an Iowa over podcast, and I'm not going to sit here and listen to you disparage them. Okay,
I know.
Iowa's offense is a unit this year. Okay,
but what I'm saying is, I think Tayven Jackson has a chance to have a really good game. Let us look at it through the lens of PrizePicks. Our friends at PrizePicks, the best daily fantasy game in America. Download the app, play $5, get $50 instantly when you use the code STAPLES as a new user. You can have some fun with this one. The square for Tayven Jackson, and I think they're kind of in the same boat. We are just kind of trying to project based on the very limited chances we've gotten to see him because he's only gotten to play in 4 games this season. So 213.5 passing yards. You decide if you think he's going to throw for more than that or less than that, and that's how you pick that square. You pick at least 2, and the more you pick, the higher the potential payout. You can do it with some other college football plays. You can throw in some NFL plays, NBA, you name it. They got it at PrizePicks. So 213.5 passing yards for an offense that has just clobbered people. I mean, I don't know. There's really no other way to say it. Like, Indiana's offense has absolutely clobbered people all season. They have thrown for 2,172 yards. They averaged 10.8 yards per attempt. This is Rourke and Jackson combined. And, you know, they're really efficient. They've not gone more than 33 pass attempts in a game, but they do go usually between 25 and 33. So you're talking about, if things go about average, a 300-yard day.
Andy, Tayven Jackson went 7 for 8 for 91 yards and 2 touchdowns in the second half of the Nebraska game last week. Maybe that was after Nebraska tapped out. Awesome. I don't know, but
Nebraska has a good defense.
I am kind of anticipating he has an awesome game. And again, shot in the dark here.
Yep.
But this is a player that we've been familiar with too. You know, given his background, he was a pretty highly rated
big-time recruit. Went to Tennessee. Joey Halzle, the current Tennessee offensive coordinator, was a huge fan of his when he was in Knoxville, and then he transferred to Indiana while Tom Allen was still there. So he's not one of the guys that Curt Cignetti brought in. He's a guy that was there when Curt Cignetti got there. And I remember talking to Curt Cignetti about him at Big Ten Media Days, because I was asking a question about Rourke, and obviously we'd all watched Kurtis Rourke play in Maction, knew how good of a player he was. Curt Cignetti was like, watch out for Tayven Jackson too. And I think this is one of those, he was pleasantly surprised when he got there and found out, hey, I got this guy on my roster too.
Yeah. I really, I mean, when's the last time Indiana had a top 300 player from high school as their starting quarterback?
Oh, I don't know that it's happened.
Ever happened?
Where was Jack Tuttle? I guess is the question when he signed with Utah, because he went from Utah to Indiana to Michigan, but I don't think he was.
Oh, Jack Tuttle actually was a pretty highly rated recruit. So
Michael Penix. Michael Penix was a highly rated recruit. Had decided to go to Tennessee. Butch Jones got fired, and then he wound up at Indiana. So
actually, what we're coming to find out is that Indiana is actually a quarterback cradle. You know what I mean? Like
exactly. We
forgot about Michael Penix too. I forgot about Michael. It's funny, you forget about Michael Penix the week that Indiana has Tayven Jackson starting at quarterback playing Washington. Like life's a circle, Andy.
It is. It is. So let's all watch it go full circle on Saturday in Bloomington. See how Tayven Jackson does.